Hi guys, my name is Crystal Francis. Welcome back to my channel. We're in the middle of an eyeshadow palette series. The Emily Edit the Wants palette. It's a $20 palette that I got mine at Ulta, and I think that you can get it at Ulta online. You can get it at the Makeup Revolution website. It's supposed to be part of their permanent line now, so that's really cool. Here is the box. It's kind of a blush pink background with like a rose gold writing. And then on the back, you see the colors. And this lady here is Emily Noel 83 here on YouTube. She's so pretty. She's a mother of 2 and pregnant right now. While I'm filming this video, she's pregnant. Anyway, I'm subscribed to her, and I think that she's really, to me, she's really known for her, like, her honest reviews and kind of her eye shape and the way that she does her eyes. She also used to be a newswoman. I think she lives in Illinois. Don't quote me on that because I'm not for sure, but I know for sure she used to be a newswoman. And so a lot, or a few of the names of the eyeshadows in this palette have to do with that. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to get into it. This is the palette itself, and it's also the same blush pink color with the rose gold writing, which is a little more difficult to see with the lighting. Anyway, and this is what the back looks like. It's a hard plastic palette, and it's got a huge mirror. Sorry for the dirtiness. This is what the palette looks like. And if you haven't seen the first video I do swatches and talk about kind of my intro to the palette. I did have issues. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Pardon me. I did have issues with some of the mattes, how some of the matte colors swatched. In nearly all of the frosted shades, I had issues swatching. I will say some colors have trouble building, but you know, you have to just kind of give yourself more time to build and to blend and to let it do its job. Is basically, you know, it takes a little more work than some palettes that other palettes that I have, but it's kind of like a drugstore price. So if I'm comparing it like to Covergirl or Maybelline or L'Oreal, right on. Personal opinion. I will say this is another perfect palette of these that, like I talked about the Jaclyn Hill palette, where these are larger pans and there's such a variety, goes from light to dark. I love that there are 2 highlighter shades in this palette. This one is matte, the cream, and this one is Oh Heaven, the frost highlight. And you can go into Emily Noel's channel, and she talks about how she named all of these, and I'll talk about a few of them. She has like these are the things that you want in your life to enrich your life, or is kind of my take on the palette. So you have like hobby, prayer, grateful, good vibes, dues paid. So like you want to make sure that you've paid your dues, or you know, like that kind of a thought concept. She's from the Midwest, so that's where this Midwest color comes from. Cupcake, Laugh Cry, Love Tons. She did for her husband, Love Tons. That she kind of named after her husband a little bit. Cheer. She used to be a cheerleader. Heartbeat. Not sure about Corduroy. Pizzazz. Not sure about Pizzazz. And then Family. You want Family to be awesome. She is a Capricorn. Side Hustle. So, like, her YouTube channel was like her side hustle for a lot of years. Pi-Fi. And these are all names that I'm reading out of the palette. Pi-Fi is her, like, her sorority house or sorority sisters in college. Apartment is dark matte brown that I used on the outside here in the V in the crease. It's a matte brown color. Okay. Apartment. She was living in an apartment when she first started YouTube, so that's the significance of that. The gold color in here is called Top Story. She used to be like I said before, a newswoman. So, like, that's this gold color here. I have the palette. This goldish color here. It's called Top Story. Dark and Early. That's the matte black in the palette. That's down here in the corner. Dark and Early. And that's because she was always up at, like, I can't remember what she said, like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning to put on makeup and you know, get her day started, I guess. Anyway, when she was a newswoman. So, in the cream, her mom always said the cream always rises to the top. And oh heavens is something that, like, she says all the time. Oh heavens. Oh heavens. I do too. Yeah, I think it's a thing. There are 2 lavender shades in here. Eve Rose and Belle Violet. Eve Rose and Belle Violet are her 2 daughters. And so there's that. So there's plenty of frost, plenty of mattes, mixture. There's greens, purples, reds. There's gold. There's matte white, matte browns. There's everything in here. Taupe, and there's pinks and purples and gold, and greens. Several different greens in here. So it's a really good palette. And I hate to say it like this, but to me, the Jaclyn Hill palette by Morphe, and I bring it up because that's another palette that I've reviewed on my channel, and you can actually go and kind of see what I have to say about that palette. The Jaclyn Hill palette to me that's a holy grail favorite of mine. Okay, and it's a $38 palette. I think it's $38. You can get it at Morphe, and you can also get it at Ulta. So it's a little more expensive, but the colors apply better. You don't have to work with them like you have to kind of work with these shades. And I say it like that because those shades are more like luxury shadows, where these are very drugstore. That's not to say that they're not good. It's just to say that, you know, sometimes the drugstore eyeshadow palette, you're going to have one shade in there that's going to be chalky, and you're going to have to, like, either not use it or go through some pretty drastic stuff to be able to use it. You know, I have gotten several, like, eyeshadow quads from Covergirl. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. This one is Ice Princess. These are some of my absolute favorite eyeshadows. These are some of my absolute favorite eyeshadows. I will say, though, that my favorite is, it's called Country Woods, my favorite that CoverGirl does. And I have repurchased that probably 8 to 10 times in my lifetime. When they redid the packaging, they changed the colors a little bit in that palette, and I don't use it near as often as I used to, but nearly, I don't know, I guess every third one I bought, the highlighter shade in that palette, not this one, in that eyeshadow quad, nearly every third one I would buy, the matte vanilla shade, would just be unusable. And so I would have to go get another one. And so in my mind, it's just something that we live with drugstore products, which is why I'm kind of comparing this to drugstore. The reason that I am is because of the layer of powder that's on top of the shimmer, the frosty shades. Some of them I had to literally dig down underneath that top layer to get to the good stuff, you know, to get to the good product. And I said it before in the initial impressions video, I know something happens to the powder when it is so chalky like that and you can't get any powder, much less pigment, to come up. You know, something happens, but I don't know what happens. I'm not an expert like that. I just know that you know, there's stuff I have to do to make it work, or give it up because it ain't happening. But this palette, for me personally, it just had like a little top layer, and you got to deal with it, and that's it. And once I got past the top layer, and guys, it was just the color Grateful that was the problem child for me, I guess. The color Grateful, let me show it to you. It's the light green shade in the palette. It's this one up here, and you can see I kind of had to gouge it. This one here, down here, is gouged because of my finger. This one though there's an obvious gouge there, and it's because I had to literally rake off some of that color, some of that powder on top, to get to the color underneath that was usable. Thank God not all the colors in the palette are like that, but that is why I believe that they have trouble swatching, is because of that top layer. Because when you rub your finger in it and you haven't removed that top layer of powder yet, you're getting the top layer on your finger, and that's all you're getting. And so it creates for not very fun swatching, you know. And I always say that swatching it's just to see how the color looks on your skin tone. When I swatch colors for you, eyeshadow colors for you, it's just to see how it's going to look on my skin tone personally. It's not going to show you anything else about the palette. They could swatch terribly and be beautiful on the eyes. This is a classic example. Or they could swatch like a dream and turn out like crap. Excuse me. This is not it's not a crappy product. Some people have been getting the frosted shades. I've seen some reviews where, you know, some other people are getting the frosted shades they're totally fine. It's like, man, this is another Jaclyn Hill by Morphe type palette where it's like it's a holy grail. It's not like Jaclyn Hill or Morphe's. You know what I mean? It's Makeup Revolution and Emily Noel. What I mean is, to them, it's a holy grail palette. It's luxury, no matter what the price. But then you have other people like myself who've gotten a palette, and then some of the frosted shades, they had a little trouble with the powder on top, and, you know. So it is what it is. But it's a $20 palette. It's $20. And so if you think about, it's a $20 palette, and you're getting this many colors, large pans. Let's talk about the size of the depth of the pans there, and the size compared to, you know, the hand, the fingers, the eyes. They're pretty big pans of eyeshadow, and lots of color. So if you're looking for a lot of color, or if maybe you would like to try the Jaclyn Hill palette, but you really don't want to spend that $38, this is $20. This is $20. And it comes with a mirror. Jaclyn Hill palette doesn't come with a mirror. And it's cardboard. This is plastic. So if you're looking for something that's going to stay through time, this is part of their permanent collection now. I think that's pretty much it. You should go check out Emily Noel's YouTube channel. She did a lot when she first came out with this palette. She did several videos where she does tutorials with different eye looks, and that woman has the most interesting shaped eye. I don't know. It's gorgeous. But she applies her colors a little bit differently, and she will, like, up at the top here is where she wants the bulk of her depth of her color, and so she'll kind of put that in first and then do the anyway. You should go check out her channel and some of her tutorials. And the reason that I say that too is because she shows you different looks with this palette that you wouldn't normally see, or you wouldn't normally think, you wouldn't normally come up with those colors together or whatever. Anyway, go check her out. Those tutorials are pretty cool. So anyway, so basically the review is, it's a $20 palette. It's a good palette if you don't mind risking the fact that you may get frosted shadows. It's got a layer of powder that you kind of have to work through a little bit, and it's a thin layer. Don't get me wrong. It's not like a whole chunk you're gonna have to like scrape off of there, but you do have to get to the stuff underneath. So anyway, if you know, $20 is what you're looking at for a new palette, and you don't mind the off chance of you getting one of the weird palettes that has this weird, you know, powdery texture on top because you're used to dealing with drugstore palettes. Excuse me. With drugstore palettes or drugstore eyeshadows, then this is a totally great buy. Totally great. If you're looking for, you know, luxury, you're looking for Charlotte Tilbury, Tom Ford, you know, Natasha Denona, you're not, this is not Pat McGrath, okay? This is Makeup Revolution. So, you know, but it's good. It's good. So, anyway, so there's that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. This look I got from that palette as well, and it's in my previous video, so go check that out. And I will see you in the next video. Love you guys. Bye. Hi guys, Editing Crystal here. I just wanted to show you guys this purple eye look again. The lighting that I had last time when I created the look for you guys, you really couldn't see the different colors. And let's see, how can I, what am I looking for? There we go. I want you guys to see how intricate this eye look is. Still not as pretty as in real life, but I wanted you guys to see the look again in a little bit better lighting. It's a little bit better. And I don't have the goth lipstick on. It's not really goth, it's purple, but I don't have Matte Glam on today. I have on Matte Darling, and it's a little more pink shade, a little mauvey pink shade. And so, anyway, I wanted you to see the look again. And as I was putting this eye look back on, it occurred to me that I don't think that I said this in the video itself, but I need you guys to know every look I've created with this palette, and I've created a few more than I've showed you. These are just the ones that I like best. They've all been really beautiful. They've blended really well and looked really, I don't know, they look really professional looking. My eyes watering on this side, so you can, it kind of looks like the eyeshadow's patchy over here. It's not. My eyes watering. Anyway, that top layer of powder on the frosted shades is a real issue for some palettes, but this palette, it's not too bad. The Emily Edit palette is in my mind, it's like a drugstore palette in that you have that potential to have that weird powder thing on top, but it's a really thin layer of that weird powder situation. So once you get down right underneath that utmost thinnest little top layer of powder on the shadows, they work beautifully. And I have to say, I'm not a huge fan of Makeup Revolution London products. I have other eyeshadow palettes that are Makeup Revolution. I don't like them. They're not my favorite. I don't prefer them. But this palette, the Emily Edit palette, every look has just been wow. So if you're willing to put in a little extra work in for blending and making sure you get that top layer off, if you happen to get a palette that has that weird top layer of powder, you know, you're willing to do a little extra blending. It honestly, for a little extra blending, it looks like luxury eyeshadow. It feels like luxury eyeshadow. It feels like, you know, I mean, it looks like anything I could have done with, you know, Kat Von D or Too Faced or, you know, one of my Naked palettes. Granted, not the same colors, but the effect is the same. So where the colors blend together and yet they are individual and beautiful and stunning. Sit back a little bit so you can kind of get a distant image. Kind of a close up and far away. I feel like Grover from Sesame Street. Near, far. Anyway, I hope I don't get copyrighted for that. How many of you guys remember that? Put it in the comments section below. Also, a little note here. I want to go cruelty-free on this channel. But the research that I've done about it is that there's multiple levels of cruelty-free. So if you guys have some knowledge of some companies, brands that are cruelty-free and what level of cruelty-free they are, let me know in the comments section below. There's, you know, okay, so this brand is cruelty-free, but maybe its umbrella parent company might not be cruelty-free. Or maybe they're cruelty-free, but they're not vegan. So some of their products may use animal products like beeswax or carmine. And I haven't done enough research yet to find out if those things are harmful to the animal. So, like if you're getting beeswax, exactly how do they get it? I know there's some skincare company that uses, that has a mask that uses like snail slime or something wonderful like that. Oh, I don't know. Anyway, but the way that they get the snail slime is abusive to the animal. And so, you know, I mean, if beeswax, you know, if it's kind of like, you know, stealing their honey, you know, I'm kind of, you know, here nor there about that. You know, we eat their honey, you know, so if getting beeswax is kind of a similar situation, okay. Like I said, I haven't done enough research about it, but anyway, if, you know, but if it hurts the animal, I don't want to participate in that. So anyway, if you have any thoughts or comments, leave a comment in the comment section below. I love you guys. Bye. See you next time.